Hey y'all, this is Bad Means by Omari back at you with another video. Alright, one thing about me is I'm not gonna claim that GT was perfect because it wasn't. GT definitely has its flaws like everything else does. It was not perfect. But one thing I will say about GT is how it ended most of the characters' story arcs. I think it did it in a fabulous way, almost perfect way to end some of these characters' story in Dragon Ball. I mean, it was done fantastically. You could tell it was done with passion and thought. Like a lot of thought went into it. And I'm gonna get into each one of them that I thought was great. And first, I'm gonna start off with Majin Buu and Oob. So we all know that Oob is Kid Buu reincarnated. So what that exactly means is kind of like, huh? Is he a Boo? Is he a Majin? Is he a human? It's all kind of, sketchy, but he's basically Boo reincarnated, evil Boo reincarnated. And for them to write him being merged back with Fat Boo to be complete was just great writing. Oob even said, I feel like I know you," when he was talking to Majin Buu. So, I mean, I think that was awesome for them. A great way for them to end Majin Buu's arc was for him to combine back with Oob. That was perfect for him. Next up is the Demon King Piccolo. Now, we all know that Piccolo is the Demon King. Uh, him and Goku were literally mortal enemies. Piccolo hated him. I mean, Goku killed his father. I mean, they had hate. I mean, he hated him. Period. And they even fought damn near to the death in the tournament. But over Z, Piccolo's character development kicked in. I mean, he grew to actually love the Sun family. Goku, Gohan, Goten, and all of them. Over time he developed in character. So, he grew a bond with Goku that was basically unbreakable. Piccolo would sacrifice himself for anyone, and he's the most responsible. So, at the end, him sacrificing his life to get rid of the Dragon Balls, I think was a genius idea. And then on top of that, he sends himself to hell to get Goku out of hell. And then he basically runs hell. Like, he will never be bored. He gets to fight demons and keep hell in check forever, or for however long he's going to be down there. And that's an awesome life for Piccolo. I'm pretty sure he would rather that than to be sitting up in heaven, bored out of his mind, with nobody to really challenge him. So in hell, he's like the protector. He's the one that keeps things in control. Even in the dub, they say that's our Piccolo when he stops a demon, meaning that he's doing it all the time. That's basically his job now. So he gets to stay in shape and get little exciting fights going on. And then his final chop up with Goku, where he shakes his hand and Goku says, "I'll never forget you." Man, I'm telling you, Goku even says, "I know I put you through a lot of trouble." Basically saying, "I know I brought you out of who you're really supposed to be. And, from then on, we've been nothing but stress on you, but I'll never forget you." And then, I mean, that was just a perfect ending for Piccolo to me. I think that they did a fabulous job on that, especially when they were chopping it up. Come on, man. It don't get no better than that. Next up, Krillin. Now, we all know that Krillin and Goku basically grew up together. I mean, they were best friends. They trained on Master Roshi's island under the turtle style, and they basically grew up together. They were rivals in the beginning, and they became very good friends. And when GT had them have that final little sparring session on Master Roshi's island, that was probably the most emotional part of the ending of GT. I mean, that had to have been the most emotional part. I mean, Krillin was basically saying that he's the only one that really got older and changed, and how he's different. And Goku tries to liven up his spirits by saying, "Let's go one more round for old time's sake." And as they're sparring, Goku lets Krillin get a hit in on him. I mean, it was awesome. That was a great moment finalizing their friendship. And Krillin knew that Goku wasn't alive, or that Goku wasn't of that world anymore. When he first saw him, he was like, "Goku, are you?" He thought he was probably dead. And them having that final sparring session was a really, really, really good touch to the last time we see Krillin alive. Well, the last time we see Krillin at all. I think that was an absolute good touch. Both Krillin and Master Roshi. I think that was a good moment for both of them. Even the turtle. And then last but certainly not least, Son Goku. I mean, what better ending than for him to leave with the dragon? I mean, don't get me wrong, the ending to Z was pretty decent, where he left with Oob, and we knew he was out training, doing what he loved to do. But him leaving with the dragon was so symbolic, becoming one with the Dragon Balls, and, to assume that he's now the guardian of the Dragon Balls, basically. He kind of keeps in check what's going to happen so that the Shadow Dragons don't appear again, is what I'm assuming Goku does now, because he's ascended above, our reality. He's now a god, basically. So what better ending, and who's more deserving of such a title than Goku, who sacrificed his life many times for the protection of not only Earth but other planets. So I mean, that was like the perfect ending for Goku. The writers put a lot of thought into that. The whole Shadow Dragon arc was just awesome writing for Dragon Ball, of Dragon Ball standards. It took it to the next level. So I mean, that was like the perfect ending for Goku. And, there's some honorable mentions. We see Tien and Chaozu doing what they do best, training together. And we see Yamcha. He's being Yamcha, a regular human, quote unquote, just living a regular life, fixing his car. And shoot, even Vegeta. I mean, granted, we don't exactly see his ending, quote unquote, but just his speech alone as they were fighting Omega, that just shows his growth as a character in GT. Granted, they did the right thing and they piggybacked off of his growth at the end of Z in the Buu saga. They even showed his growth even more in GT with the speech that he gave to his son and Goten and Trunks. Telling them to avenge their father, leave the planet, survive, live on, and then defeat him. It just shows that Vegeta has grown a humane characteristic of love and care. Even when he told Pan to hold Goku's gi dear, hold it dear to her, that right there was one of the most emotional parts of this ending, because it shows that Vegeta finally accepts Goku as a friend, and he knew he would never see him again. That right there was just like, yeah, man, that was good for Vegeta's ending, for the last time that we see the prince. And speaking of Pan, we see that she grows old and lives a full life, and meaning she got to watch over Goku's generations as they came. She's watching over Goku Jr. And I mean, if you haven't watched that special, the Goku Jr. special, check it out, man. It's very entertaining. So yeah, man, if I missed anybody, let me know. I just think that GT did so well when it came to the ending of these characters. fantastic job. You could tell passion went into it. You could tell thought went into it. It wasn't something that they just threw together. Definitely a good goodbye to the Dragon Ball series at the time, which they thought would be the end of it. It was an awesome send off. So it was so good that I don't even want them to continue it. I want them to leave it where it is. Like, leave GT alone. It's perfect. It's fine. Do not continue it. Do not continue Goku Jr. and Vegeta Jr. Leave it alone. So let me know what y'all think in the comment section. I'll see you on the next video.